This is Pamela Twyman with Spotlight Studio Productions, and I'm here with Professor Gary Fry. So let's start off with something very simple. What exactly is your title here at Prince George's Community College?
Well, as you mentioned, I'm a professor of theater and speech communication here at Prince George's Community College. My specialization is in theater, but my title here is actually Director of Theater, which means that I administrate the two academic theater programs that are resident here on the campus.
Okay. And what classes do you teach here?
I typically teach most of the theater courses, sans the performance courses like acting. So I'll teach the introduction to theater courses, a lot of the technical courses, and any of the production courses that we offer.
Does that go further in towards maybe the actual plays that occur here?
We try to make sure that all of our classes are involved in some of the portions of the academic productions during the year.
Such as what?
So, for example, a lot of the technical students will work on building the sets, and now we have our technical students actually running the show so that they can get that experience here in a classroom environment.
What plays have you actually covered here in the theater exactly?
Well, the history of the theater goes back to 1968. Last year we did a play called A Piece of My Heart, which is about Vietnam veterans, specifically women. We did a play about people who are taking an acting class called Circle Mirror Transformation. This year we're doing a play called Animal Farm, which is based on George Orwell's novel about a bunch of farm animals who revolt against their human masters and try to set up a communist kind of government on their farm. And then in the spring we're doing Our Lady of 121st Street, which is a play that's a little comedic and a little dark, but it deals with the fact that a group of people have come together at a funeral home, but the body of the person they've come to pay their respects to is missing.
Okay, let's take a step back really quickly.
Sure.
You said that the students get to work or participate as if they're in a real theater. How accurate is it to something they would experience, say, at an actual?
It's accurate to the point that they are going to learn some of the basic skill sets that people working in theater would expect people to have. But here they have a safety net. So if a student whose for example, is running a sound board, or a student who's doing props, or a student who's working the lighting equipment was to make a mistake, obviously it may affect their grade to a certain extent, but we want them to make those mistakes here instead of doing them out in the real world. So by having the students participate in our academic productions, they're getting real hands-on practical experience that they can carry out into the real world, and they learn the do's and do nots here rather than on the job.
Okay, and as far as, I guess going back to the more current plays, and you mentioned Animal Farm, and what production is that, and when will it be? And
okay, Animal Farm is going to open up on November 14th, and it runs through the, I believe, the 18th. That particular play, again, is based on George Orwell's novel Animal Farm, and it's going to be kind of wacky and crazy because it's about farm animals, and we're going to have to have actors act as farm animals, but they also have to have human qualities to them. And the play is based on the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. So it has some very specific political backgrounds, but what we've decided to do is extract some of those political themes and make them broader, just to create a story that's more accessible to everyone.
All right. And I guess let's get a little bit more knowledge about you in particular. Have you ever directed any plays or did any lighting or sound, since you do cover all the bases of theater?
Yes. I played several roles here on campus. I've done light design, I've done sound design, I've directed here, but I also work professionally outside of Prince George's Community College. I've directed professionally in Washington, D.C. I've done a lot of light design professionally downtown in Washington, D.C. For theaters such as the Source Theater, Project Y Theater Company. They recently moved to New York. A theater company called Cherry Red Productions. The list goes on. I also have my own theater company that is a conglomeration of a few of my friends called the Madcap Players, and we've been in existence for about 12 years, and we usually do 2 productions a year.
Oh. How did you actually get involved in this field?
I actually started as a student here at Prince George's Community College in 1994, and I took a theater class. I was planning on being an English major, And I always liked playwriting, and I loved kind of behind-the-scenes technical stuff. And so I got opportunities here to kind of get involved and work on some of the shows as a student volunteer, and then I got hired on the tech crew. And I completed my degree here the whole time working in theater here. And with the experience I got here, I started taking up other gigs in Washington, D.C. and in the region, and starting to work for other theater companies and production companies. And then I went back to school and eventually got my master's degree.
Okay, what would you say would be the pros and cons, and what kind of words of encouragement would you give for other, I guess, people who are inspired to do theater?
Theater takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of time, and you have to be able to work a non-traditional schedule. The reward is that you get to produce art.
Thank you.
You're welcome.